What is going on, beautiful people? Today, we're answering the question, how do narcissists feel about their parents? Spicy, spicy, spicy. If you're new here, my name is Lee Hammock. I'm a clinically diagnosed narcissist, and welcome to another episode of the Narcissist Code. So, welcome back. The elusive question that I get a lot on this channel. A lot, everywhere. Not just on this channel. Y'all, if y'all don't know, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm everywhere. Twitter. You know, man, I tweet a little bit. Not so much, but I tweet a little bit here and there. But how do narcissists feel about their parents or the people who raised them? This is a very nuanced question because, of course, everybody's situation is going to be different. There's no two narcissists that are exactly the same or have the exact same thoughts about their parents. So let's get that out the way because I know it's coming. My narcissistic parent, my narcissistic ex didn't do this. Mine didn't do that. Yeah, I understand that there's no two narcissists that are exactly the same. So of course they're going to feel differently about their parents. Let's get that out the way. So with that being said, narcissistic people, there are a lot of narcissists who hate. It's very crazy. There are some narcissists who internally don't like their parents. They internally have a disdain or some contempt for their parents. They really cannot stand their parents, right? They can't stand it. But they don't show it outwardly. That you can tell that they might even be telling you a bunch of negative things about their parents or how their mom or dad abused them growing up or abandoned them growing up, right? But they'll still be talking to those parents or dealing with those parents and whatnot because it just feel like they owe them something. It's like, I'm in debt to you. The narcissistic parents sometimes, if they're abusive, have conditioned that narcissistic person that was a child at once, they're an adult now, maybe, that they owe a debt to them. Like, I'm indebted to you. I might not care for you too much. I might have a lack of empathy towards my parents, but I feel like I'm indebted to them for raising me, for bringing me into this earth or whatever it is. You know, they feel like they have a debt to them. Now, are there some narcissists who don't like their parents and will show them outwardly and cut their parents off? Yes. There are some narcissists that will cut their parents off because their parents try to hold them accountable. Their parents, some of them, you know, everybody's household is going to be different. Their parents try to hold them accountable or do something like that. Their parents try to make things right or try to steer them in the right direction. Some of their parents will actually do that, and that narcissistic person will show outwardly express that contempt towards that parent or parents that, you know, that is trying to hold them accountable or something along those lines. That happens so much, you know? So I tell people, like, if you are dealing with this situation, this is why you see a lot of narcissistic parents that might not be toxic themselves, but they are enabling the narcissist behaviors because they're scared to try to hold them accountable because they have in their mindset, like, if I hold this person accountable, if I hold my child accountable, they might cut me off. If I hold my son or my daughter accountable for their actions, or I tell them you're doing this wrong, they might actually take the steps in cutting me off. So a lot of narcissistic people don't want to deal with, like, a lot of parents don't want to deal with that. Like a narcissist, they want to condition those parents to fear them sometimes. You know, like I said, the ones that outwardly show that contempt, they want to condition that parent to fear them. Like, I will cut you off. You know, I will do this. I'm showing you contempt. I'm showing you that I outwardly am angry at you or whatever. I hold grudges against you for how I was raised or my childhood or how I turned out. I hold you responsible for that. So that happens quite a bit in toxic relationship dynamics where they will hold you responsible. They will hold their parents responsible for who they are, you know, especially if they are emotionally stunted or whatever. That narcissistic person expects their parents to take care of them sometimes. You know, they just really never, ever grow up. They expect that parent to take care of them. Like, I need you to take care of me. But this is the space right here, though. So that's if the parents are together. If the parents are separated and a narcissistic person never got validation from one parent, but got it from another one. That is weird, y'all, because the narcissists and their mothers, is a very unique dynamic, because you get a narcissistic men that could have this emotionally incestuous relationship with their mothers. It's just like son, husband, son, boyfriend. They play the role of the mother's significant other in a weird, emotional way, not physical, in a weird emotional way, you know. And that can make the narcissistic person just have this weird dynamic where they love and cherish and they worship their parent, their mother. You know, they might hate the mother because the father's not around. Some of them hate the mother because the father's not around, and they hate women as a result of that. Like, I hate my, you know, I feel contempt and hatred towards women because my mom pushed my dad away, or my mom picked a bad father, and I got to grow up in a one-parent household, so I'm blaming my mom. You see how that happens sometimes? Even though the other parent could have just left, could have just been abandoned them, the father or the mother, whichever one abandoned them, could be a narcissist and just abandon the kids. But they hold the parent that's still there responsible. You see, like, you stayed, so it must be your fault. You pushed them away. You pushed my other parent away. So that happens a lot of times right there in that space right there, y'all. So narcissists, I'm not saying that narcissists hate their parents. There are some out there that absolutely feel a certain way about their parents. Like, and they just will make their parents feel if they are blame. So if a narcissist grows up, right, and they don't accomplish the goals that they set out to accomplish, they tend to blame the parent for them not accomplishing that goal. Like, I didn't accomplish my goals, so it's my parents' fault because they didn't provide me access to this. They didn't provide me access to that. They treated my brother or my sister better than they treated me, so it's their fault I turned out the way that so it's their fault I turned out the way I turned out. It can't be my fault. I turned out the way I turned out because my parents. You know, as an adult, you know, most people need to take, I mean, I'm not saying the parents were not abusive, because there are some abusive, toxic parents that are responsible for how their kids turn out because they lack that emotional connectivity to their kids, and then neglected their kids emotionally and sometimes physically. But a narcissistic person will never let that grudge go. They will continuously hold on to that grudge for the entirety of their life. You know, when I say entirety, I mean the entirety of their life. They will never let it go. So you hear them talking bad about their parents, you know, and treating their parents horribly. But that's y'all, if I'm not saying that everybody's situation is the same, but if they are talking negatively about their parents, right, and they are treating their parents horribly in front of you, I feel like that could be a red flag for you right there that goes off. You know, because, like, you know how people say how a man treats his mother is how he'll treat you. If they're treating their mother terribly in front of you, that could be a red flag. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is absolute red flag, because everybody's situation is going to be different, of course, but it could be red flaggy. You know, it could be red flaggy. That's what I call it, red flaggy. It's not a full blown red flag, but it's red, and the wind is picking up. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of narcissistic people. Like, I mean, y'all know you've dealt with narcissistic people before. If their parent is toxic and they have a toxic child, and the toxic child is still maybe dependent upon them, like I said, it might not like the parent, but keep the parent around. Allow the parent to have this weird type of control in their life, and not just, you know, have no boundaries with their parents. Their parent still treats them like a kid, pretty much. They don't have that narcissistic person that's grown up now, has no autonomy over what they want to do or how they're living their lives. You know what I mean? But that happens quite a bit too. So I tell people, if you're in this situation, this is what's going to happen. They are going to hold their parents responsible for who they are. And like I said, and they might actually still keep looking at their parents like they're in control of their life. Like, you're my parent. You control my life. You my parent. I turn out this way. You are responsible for who I am. So I just tell people this right here. And a lot of times, y'all, I will say this right here, and this will be my little closing note. A lot of times, they're going to put that parent above you. If they have like a parent in their life, that parent is going to be put above you consistently. They're going to put their mom or their dad in front of you all the time, and they're going to do a lot of different things to you. Because, like I said, a narcissistic woman that's competing with her mother, it's a weird dynamic as well. Because the narcissistic women, they compete with their moms, or just always trying to get that validation from their moms. It's going to be different too. Or trying to get that validation from their father is going to be different. Sometimes the narcissistic person hates that they need that validation from their parents, and they will take it out on the people closest to them. Like, how they feel about their parents is sometimes, or a lot of times, how they end up treating their significant others. So I try to tell people, like, don't, it's not about you sometimes. It's how they feel about their parents. So they're treating you a certain type of way because they're expressing something that happened. They're expressing something that happened to them in their childhood. They're taking it out on there right there, y'all. So that's what I have to tell people, y'all. So thank y'all for tuning into this episode right here, y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you. As always, y'all, mental healing is out. Peace. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. You are a mental healness rock star, and I appreciate you for being here. If you haven't already, make sure to click on the screen to subscribe to the channel and watch another one of my videos in my playlist. There's also a link available up here for you to purchase my kids' book, Remember It's Not Your Fault, on Amazon. So check that out. Thank you. I will see you in the next video. Peace.